Let's bring in Rise News analyst Mahmud Jega. Thank you so much for joining us and making out time. You know you're fasting, and we understand and appreciate you making out that time for us tonight. Okay. So, how did you receive the news? I mean, social media is agog with the announcement of this farm payments or farm prices, 100 million naira for presidential farm for the ruling APC. How did that come to you?
It's a princely sum.
Putting it mildly.
When PDP fixed 40 million, we thought it was very high.
Yeah.
Of course, this is the ruling party, so I expected it's on to be slightly higher, maybe 50. But 100 is a huge sum. However, you know, there are two things you think of. Number one, it is the party's best chance to raise a lot of money during the election season. So they will reap billions, not only from presidential, but also gubernatorial and other aspirants. The second one is the need to prune down the number of candidates. At the last count, I saw a list of about 15 as presidential aspirants in APC, 17 in PDP. So the quickest way to prune down the number is to peg this amount, although it's an immoral way. It's not the best way. It would have been better, maybe, for example, to make a stiff requirement like saying you must get the endorsement of 15 state party chairmen and 20 senators, you know, that kind of thing.
Or shadow elections.
Exactly.
So here we are, and people are already reacting and saying, look, this really just amounts to institutionalizing, as much of a tongue twister as it is, corruption. Is that what it is? But, you know, I'll even leave that aside a bit. You respond to that. But the APC presidential ticket mode, I mean, the APC is settling for indirect. Yeah.
Well, you know, the Electoral Act, after much kata-kata, provided 3 options that parties can choose, whether the direct or the indirect or even the consensus. Now, APC has chosen, in a way, the easiest one, which is the indirect primary. You know, you hold a convention like the one they had recently, then you have delegates from all the states, and they vote straight away. Now, they did one very good thing by excluding consensus. Because unfortunately the consensus thing has become another byword for imposition. You know, like they did in the convention where they elected party officers. If you ask me, there was no need to insist that all the candidates must step down for one person. They could as well have voted, and most probably he would have won. So this one, they have simplified matters. There will be no official attempt as far as we can see to arrive at a consensus, which will mean like a president imposing one candidate. Let all the candidates who buy the forms and are screened and they pass the screening, just put them on the ballot and let the convention delegates vote. At least that part, I think, was neat.
Great, but back to the issue of institutionalizing corruption with the 100 million for presidential ticket, 50 for governors, 50 million that is.
Yes.
And 20 million for senators.
And then
Sends a
for a
bad
party,
message.
for a party that came on one of the planks, of course, was to fight corruption to a standstill.
It doesn't send a good message at all, because it's like saying these things are for sale, and however good you are, if you don't have 100 million, then you are not going to. Although, you know, there is another thing in politics, at least the way it unfolds in the US. If you are a serious candidate, you don't have to have money yourself. You know, people will donate. Even ordinary people like Obama raised $1 billion, you know, even from students. Students will take half of their meal ticket and go and post it to the Obama campaign. Well, in Nigeria, that's in America. In Nigeria, I don't see anybody, since the First Republic, people don't donate money to candidates. But still, even in Nigeria, some serious candidates may not have 100 million of their own, but they may have backers who may invest. You know, there are some businessmen who invest in you. Put the money, if you win,
they reap back. Well, you know, but again, you know, some would say this is separating the men from the boys as the race is crowded. I just want to reel out some of the figures for you. In 2015, for the presidential ticket, it was 22 million naira in the PDP. In the APC, it was 27.5 million naira. In the PDP in 2019, it was 12 million naira. In the APC for 2019, it came to 45 million naira. This is 2020, going to 2023. It is 45 million in the PDP for 2023. And for the APC, it's 100 million naira. Would there be any justification at all for these parties, these two main parties, to have the sum of money placed for a roll at a dice? Because there's no guarantee that you get the ticket.
No, absolutely no guarantee. It's a non-refundable deposit. You know, these figures that you quoted, if you were to express them in dollar terms, it may be static, because the 45 million in 2019 is probably 100 million naira now, although we should quote in naira, not
in dollars,
not
yes,
in
naira.
dollar terms. As we have already said, it doesn't send a very nice message in a poor society like ours to say that you need 100 million naira just to collect the form. And you know, this cost of form is a very small part of the money that you require to do the campaign. You still have to campaign. All the traveling, the mobilization, deploying agents, mobilizing delegates, that costs billions and billions. So this 100 million naira is even a very small part, unfortunately.
Is the APC trying to weaken the naira? Is that what could come out of this?